Communism came into China in 1949. The church was shut down. Christians were shot, re-educated, sent to the country. It was all over for Christianity. The bamboo curtain was impenetrable. The only way you could go was in, but you couldn't come back out. And none of the people would come out and tell us anything. Many times in the rivers that came down to the Pearl River into Hong Kong, bodies would come floating with their hands tied behind their back and their heads cut off. Terrible things happened in China, but we never knew what was going on. I thought, maybe the communists are right. Maybe they have wiped out Christianity. Finally, the bamboo curtain opened. And all the Christian Missionary Alliance missionaries who had been there, myself included, couldn't wait to see what was going on. I walked down the streets of Guilin, and I saw this one woman coming down the street. Everybody wore blue and gray, but her blue looked bluer and better pressed than anybody else's. So I went up to her, knowing full well you can't buy perfume in China, and I said to her in Cantonese, "Where can I buy some perfume?" Oh, she took a deep snort. Oh, if I could just smell some perfume again. I haven't smelled it for 30 years. You can't buy perfume in communist China? What's the matter with you? I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. If you'll introduce me to a Christian, I don't care how old the Christian is, I will give you all the perfume that my wife has up in her room. Hoping to goodness that my wife had some perfume. The woman said, I know a Christian. Come to the corner of this and that street at 10 o'clock tonight when all the lights are out, and I'll introduce you to her. That night, my wife and I went down the streets of Guilin, which were dark. We came to the corner, and here she was. Follow me. We followed her. We went down to this place, up the back stairs, down the hall, into this little room with a little candle burning, and we're sitting there on a wooden bed, waiting to meet this Christian. And I said, what is this Christian lady's story? She said, oh, it's a terrible story. She said, this poor young girl at 32 years of age was put on trial after her mother and father, very wealthy people, were killed. And she was asked by the judge, with all of us sitting there, she was naked. She had a dunce cap on her head, which was how they did things in those days. And she was asked the question, will you follow Jesus? If you say you will not and you deny him, I'll let you go right now. You'll be a free woman. And all of us, there were about 5,000 of us in the stadium, were thinking, please, please, just say you don't believe in Jesus for 1 minute, and then ask Jesus to forgive you. That's all you got to do and you're free. And this young woman you're going to meet in a minute said, I will follow Jesus till the end of my life. I cannot deny him. I'm sorry. We all braced ourselves for what the judge would say, and sure enough, the judge got angry and said, you will clean a sewer for the rest of your life. In China, the sewers are open, and you have to take a rake and just keep them moving. And that was her job. But this woman told us she's been doing this for 30 years. And her father owned this house, but she lived in a little room downstairs, which we let her live in. And I hear the patter, patter, patter up the stairs. And I hear quick steps down the hall. The door bursts open. And here's this little woman, 60-some years old, a smile as big as the world on her face. And she looked at us and she said, which one of you is a Christian? And I said, I am. She said, I'd like a Bible. It's the only thing you can't have in China. So I said, well, if there's one in this town, I'll have it to you in the morning. I went back to the hotel. This was about midnight. I went in, and there was a Hong Kong Chinese pastor checking into our hotel. I walked over, and I said, hi, Ronald, how are you? Ronald said, don't talk to me. I don't want anybody to know you know me. I said, Ronald, I want to talk to you till you give me a Chinese Bible. He said, I have 6 of them. I said, well, that's easy. Just give me one. He said, I can't. The customs officer got very angry and wrote in big letters in my Bible, when this man leaves China, he has to have 6 Bibles. So I have to give him when I leave. I said, let me have them overnight. He gave me the 6 Bibles. I took them upstairs to my wife. And between the two of us, we cut Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John out of one Bible. And we went through the Old and New Testament, and we cut one full Bible out of those 6 Bibles. Next morning, I gave the 6 Bibles back to Ronald. My wife had made a cover with a t-shirt for the one Bible that we had cut out. We took it over to the woman with all the clothes we didn't need, about 4 years of salary to give to her. We burst into her room where she was sitting on her bed praying. We gave her the clothes, beautiful clothes, my best clothes. She said, put them over there, almost like she was angry. So then I reached in my pocket and I took out the equivalent of 4 years' salary of her money. And I said, here's some money to help you. Just put it in the drawer. I was getting discouraged. Then I took out the t-shirt covered, cut up copy of God's Word. She lit up. She grabbed the Bible, took it to her breast, and said, "Bo boy, precious, precious. You will never understand until you've been through what I've been through." Those things over there, those clothes and material things, they mean nothing. The money in that drawer over there, nothing. It's all right here in God's Word. You have given me the greatest gift you could give me.